Pleased to be joined by Mark Shoup, who is making a tour of golf courses in Missouri, trying to play all of them. And he's in our community right now as we speak. Mark, we appreciate your time today.
Art, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Mark, where do you make your home?
Well, I am from St. Louis, and I was just listening to your station and heard Frank Cusimano on, so I'm not, I can't get away from it. And but I tell you what, Art's great. We love having him in the city.
Yeah, indeed. He's a great guy, and we try to have him on whenever we can. So you're obviously an avid golfer to have undertaken this. Kind of tell us what was the genesis of the idea to play all the golf courses in the state.
Yeah, it's kind of a crazy thing, but I'm having a lot of fun doing it, although it's a lot of work. So I retired. I had an advertising agency that I sold a couple of years ago. And before retiring, I'd always thought about, okay, what's your bucket list for retirement? And one of the things I always wanted to do was to travel around the state of Missouri in every nook and cranny and visiting every town, taking every small highway and country road. So with golf being a passion, I kind of combined that with other passions of Missouri and golf, and coming from the marketing background, I took a class in how to design and program a website at Merrimack Community College in St. Louis, and I developed and designed this website. It's mogolftour.com, and so I am traveling around this is forcing me to go to every nook and cranny in Missouri. And if you look at a map of all the golf courses, there's almost 400 golf courses in Missouri. There is not hardly a community in the state that doesn't have a golf course. So I am seeing every part of the state, good or bad.
Now, these are public and private golf courses?
Yeah, they are both private and public. And today, for example, I got in on Tuesday. Well, I started in Kansas City. I live in St. Louis. My mom lives in Kansas City. So I started driving after seeing her Tuesday morning. I got up, and I went to Archie, Missouri, and they have a closed course. Butler, they have a private country club, and then Nevada has a private course and a public course. And so yesterday I came to Springfield Tuesday afternoon. I was intending to play Hickory Hills and River Cut, two great courses. Hickory Hills is, of course, one of the top-tier private clubs in town, and River Cut's supposed to be just a fantastic public course. So I'm playing both.
It is.
Not using this, but the courses are for the most part welcoming me with open arms. And today, for example, I played Springfield Golf and Country Club. It's a private. Then I went over and played just a couple miles away, Bill and Payne Stewart Golf Course, and that's a municipal course. And that was a great course as well. They take really good care of that. And then I ended up this afternoon playing Highland Springs, and which I loved and adored that course. That is one of the top courses in Missouri. And it's just a lot of fun to play with the surroundings, and got some really cool houses on the perimeter of the course.
Yeah.
So, and then tomorrow I'm picking back up and playing a few more courses, and I'll go home on either tomorrow afternoon or Saturday morning. I'll probably need to come back. There's 10 courses here in Springfield, and I need to play every one of them. I hate to backtrack, but occasionally I need to. I'm scheduled to go up to the northeast of Missouri all next week for the week and a half to play that entire quadrant up there. So I need to leave Springfield and head up north.
Now, do you play 18 holes at each of these courses?
Well, they're not all. In rural Missouri, there's a lot of 9-hole courses, and I play almost 18 holes on each course. If I can, since I'm on a pretty tight time schedule, like this afternoon when I was playing the country club, Highland Springs, I couldn't play all the holes because it was pretty backed up on the front 9. So I bypassed a lot of those groups and picked it back up when there was an opening.
Were you playing by yourself for the most part?
I typically play by myself because I can play really fast, and I take a lot of pictures in the course. I realized I started this last year in August, and I realized that the website was pretty boring without pictures. So I added in taking a lot of pictures of every course. Now on the website, I only put one picture on each of the courses listing, but then on Facebook, that's where I house a lot of the photographs, and I really try to do the courses justice and take great shots and color correct them in Photoshop and add some filters to it. So at the end of this thing, a lot of people keep asking me if I'm writing a book. I think I may put together a coffee table book of some of the best pictures from around the state, because what I'm finding is every course has something kind of unique about it. And so, right now the leaves are adding some unique color to it with the changing. They're just starting right now, and the trees are starting just right now to become beautiful. But as soon as the leaves are off the tree, I will end this venture for this year. I'll pick it back up again in the spring, because pictures are important to me. I just don't think I can do the courses full justice without leaves in the tree to the beauty.
We're visiting with Mark Shoup, who is endeavoring to play all the golf courses in the state. So how far along are you? How many of the courses have you played so far?
Well, I've played about 150 so far, and my goal is to play at least 100 courses a year. So I should get this. If I have 150 now, if I play 100, 125 over the next couple of years, I will wrap it up in 2018.
Wow.
Still
is there any particular? That's a lot of golf to play. Any area of the state that you really kind of haven't hit yet? That you mentioned you're going to go to Northeast Missouri next week. Have you not really been up there very much?
No, I haven't at all. And, up in the Northeast, it's, Hannibal and Louisiana and Palmyra and Ewing and Canton, Cahokia, Memphis, Lancaster, Kirksville, La Plata, and Macon. Those are the cities I'm hitting. So I haven't really spent a lot. I've been in every area of the state, but I haven't really spent a lot of time. And this sort of, forces my hand a little bit, and I'm, having to stay, a day in most of those cities. I got to tell you, though, Springfield in this area, I think pound for pound and per capita, I think this has got some of the best golf in the state, and maybe even the country. When you add in Hannibal, there's just some incredible courses here.
So you said you got rained out of Hickory and Rivercut?
Yeah, I got rained out yesterday. It rained all day down here, but I'm planning on playing tomorrow on both of those courses.
Tomorrow,
I'm looking forward to it.
And then, of course, there's Millwood, and Horton Smith is another municipal, and Hidden Valley and Island Green and Green Hills, Marshfield. There are a bunch of them in the immediate area.
Yeah, I a lot of those courses you mentioned, I recognize the name. A lot of them probably aren't. Are they in Springfield? All of those courses?
Horton Smith and Millwood are in Springfield.
Yeah, I've got those down. I also have Twin Oaks, and to play in Deer
That's
Lake.
across the street from where I am right now.
Oh,
Deer
no
Lake
kidding.
is another one. Yeah.
Deer Lake's it's owned by a company called Great Life that has several courses around the state.
Right. Lebanon is one of their courses also.
I've played that one already. Played that last year. Some are pretty nice,
yeah.
and some aren't quite that good.
Yeah. Have you been there in the I-70 corridor? Have you been in the central Missouri area?
I have. My wife is a state senator, and last year one of her goals was to go. There's 34 senatorial districts in Missouri, and her goal was to visit every senatorial district. So I went with her last year. We kind of combined both tours. She did this thing called the Senate Tour, kind of a play on words. And since she's in Jeff City, I use her apartment in Jeff City a lot, and I've played all the courses in Columbia, and there's some great courses there. Also in Jeff City, played all those courses, and I've played the majority of those. There's still a lot to play. But this year, I hadn't been down to the Boot Heel area at all. I used Highway 60 from Sykeston all the way over to Springfield, and I did that in June and played every course off, probably within 30 miles of Highway 60. So, if you go to the website and you're on a particular listing for a golf course, down the bottom it'll say map of all Missouri courses, and you can see which courses I've color coded it, so you can see which courses I've played, which I haven't. And I use that map a lot just to guide where I need to play and what courses I've missed. Otherwise, it would be difficult to track all of these things. So I can easily visualize it.
Have you had any misadventures along the way in traveling, or any unusual incidents that have occurred at any of these courses?
No, but I got to tell you, I dropped my camera today and broke the lens, one of my lenses, so that wasn't fun. So I went to a local camera store and they gave me a new lens and everything, so that worked out nicely. The only mishaps I've had are playing some of the terrible golf courses in the state, and there are a few of those. And there was one course I played. I probably won't mention the name of it, but it was up right off of Highway 60, and I walk into the clubhouse. I couldn't even tell it was really a clubhouse. It was sort of a cabin, and they had old used cars around and old refrigerators and all these parts. And I walked in, and there's and I yelled. I said, "Hey, is anyone here?" And there was no golf equipment or anything. And this guy walks out when I yelled, and he had an old dirty, grimy T-shirt on and a pair of cut-off blue jean shorts, and he had socks on but no shoes, and I was the only one on the golf course, and it was just an absolutely terrible experience. But I got to tell you, those are some of my favorite courses. The ones that are really bad, those are the ones you remember the most, and they give you quite an experience.
You bet. Well, you're seeing the whole state, like you say, and the golf course, and of course you can't help but absorb some of the local culture and color wherever you go. So that's I'm sure very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've obviously been to Springfield many times, but I've never been here for several days in a stretch. And what a wonderful city! It's small enough that it's got a small city, small town vibe. Particularly, where downtown is, all the historic buildings and all the shops and the restaurants. But it's large enough. You guys have everything in terms of restaurants and sports, and you got the lake nearby. The golf is incredible, and it's you have a wonderful city here.
We appreciate that very much, Mark. Welcome in our city anytime, and we may check back with you later on in your quest and see how it's going.
Anytime. Appreciate it, Art.
All right, you bet. That's Mark.